in Colorado.
Oh, I have very strict rules. One of them is that my turkey should always be smothered with gravy.
Two scoops of Rocky Road are better than one.
Defend your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of burritos.
My rule is the creamier the sauce, the better. With Healthy Choice, there's only one rule. Eat what you like.
And you really like King Soopers' low prices on Healthy Choice meals. King Soopers, our people make the difference.
The athletes are ready. Are you? Brought to you by these Platinum patrons. For tickets, call 303-830-8497.
Well, it's Thursday, which means our Dr. Dave joins us now with a health quiz, and today's topic is influenza.
There's a lot of it out there.
Seeing a bunch.
I worked yesterday at the clinic, and gosh, were there a lot of people with influenza. Really? So today I thought we'd talk about what influenza is and quiz our knowledge on exactly what some of the signs and symptoms are. So let's go to number one. And Amy, you are first. Which one of these is not a symptom of influenza? Which is not a symptom of the flu? Headache, fever, or nausea and vomiting? Not a symptom. Headache, fever, or nausea and vomiting?
Nausea and vomiting.
Ding, ding.
They're laughing.
That's exactly right. You know, you always hear stomach flu, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. That is not influenza. Different. Influenza is a much more serious disease in many cases, and it is headache, fever, chills, cough, respiratory type symptoms. You feel awful. Larry, you are next up.
The flu.
Which is the most common complication of influenza? Strep throat, pneumonia, or encephalitis? And people can get complications.
Encephalitis, that brain thing. I think it's pneumonia.
You are exactly right. In fact, that's one of the things, if you would get influenza, you need to be on guard for, and that is increasing coughing, any problems breathing. It typically occurs several days after the flu starts. So if you get any of that, you need to see your doctor because antibiotics can help. Let's do another one. Fever, a typical symptom of the flu. How long does a fever typically last? 2 days, 4 days, or 7 days? Tom Martino on the sideline says 2 days, but I don't know if I trust Tom. He's the consumer guy, not the medical guy.
I'd say 4.
Ding, ding, exactly right. That's why you don't listen to Tom. It is 4 days. And actually, it's surprising. You actually may begin to feel a little bit better, but that fever tends to hang in there a little bit, so you know, you may need to be given some medicine to keep that fever down. Let's do one more here, Larry. Which one of these will speed your recovery from influenza? Lots of fluids, taking acetaminophen, or antibiotics?
Fluid's always safe, so I would say a whole bunch of them.
Boy, are we smart today. You guys did a great job. You know, with that fever there, you tend to get dehydrated, and your normal fluid intake is not enough. You need to do more. All the other things will not help get rid of the flu. May make you more comfortable, but not speed it up. And a real quick thing here. You might be surprised about where some germs live at times. So tonight on News 4 at 10, I'm going to have a special report on that very topic, where germs lived and live. I hope they live there. They're not there anymore. We went out and actually did some cultures, viral and bacterial cultures of a variety of surfaces that we touch every day.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised at what we found.
Let me tell you, folks,
scary.
this is the talk of the newsroom, and I think it'll be the talk of the town coming up tomorrow after you see this one. All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Dave.
All right, first news quiz time.
All right, second call of the day.
I'm going to go wash my hands.
I know.
All right, first news quiz time, and here we go. We have $1,000 for today's answer, up to $5,000 for 5 answers in a row. We got it right. The answer to the quiz today is Skates of Gold, 7 o'clock this Saturday here on News 4. Let's hear that bell again. Skates of Gold, the answer to the quiz.
Have you ever wondered how you catch a cold, virus, the flu? Every day you come into contact with germs where you live, work, and play. Where do they hide? How do they make you sick? Dr. Dave Nida tracks down germs and sends them off to a lab to be analyzed. You won't believe what we found living on doorknobs, phones, even Fido. Watch the news series that can prevent you from getting sick. Find out where germs live before they find you. A News 4 exclusive tonight at 10.
Mr. Helpful is here. Why don't you bring the Lipton rice and sauce to the table?
Okay.
Watch him. To the table!
Okay.
Untouched!
No problem.
Right.
The delicately seasoned taste of Lipton rice and sauce is so irresistible, you just can't wait.
Hey, I brought it to the table.
He's gonna be a lawyer.
Lipton rice and sauce tastes too great to wait. And now, try Lipton's new chicken and Parmesan risotto rice and sauce.
You don't have to fly off to a tropical island for your winter getaway. The spa at the Broadmoor is waiting for you, just an hour away in Colorado Springs. With world-class spa amenities and legendary Broadmoor luxury to invigorate your body and refresh your spirit. Special winter getaway room rates as low as $47.50 per person are available for a limited time only. So call today and book your winter getaway to the spa at the Broadmoor.
It's redo days at Builder Square, and that means hot buys on the things you need to just redo it. 2x4 by 10-foot whitewood lumber is hot buy priced at $250. Your choice of a Black & Decker finishing sander or jigsaw is a blazing $19.99. The Universal Remote is a smoking $7.99. And Dutch Boy Confident Interior Latex in the gallon can is a red hot $4.99. If you've got a hot project, then come to redo days for these hot buys Thursday through Saturday at Builder Square.
We'll get you squared away.
Quiz answer is Skates of Gold. I called 469, got a wrong answer.
You tried.
I really did. I thought I had a winner there. 469, the answer today is Skates of Gold. We'll make 2 more calls coming up for tomorrow.
Okay.
Should we finish it up here?
Let's do.
Troubleshooter Tom Martino is joining us now with results of questions he's gotten from his radio show and from our help center.
And from phones and everything.
They're questions you might have had at one time or another.
On germ-free paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. First question.
One?
Yeah, here you go. 3 days after I leased my truck, it was totaled.
Yes,
Well, it
it
wasn't
was.
my total. Okay. My insurance company won't pay for the damage. Now I'm faced with making lease payments on a car I don't even have. The insurance company claims I wasn't covered because the insurance had been transferred to the new car.
Can you
Hadn't
imagine
been
this?
transferred. What'll I do? What's going on?
Can you imagine driving off a lot, you get in an accident a few days later, your insurance says sorry.
That is...
You know, most policies give you automatic coverage for a short time on new cars.
Right.
Now, we contacted the company. They said no. So we said, hey, show us in the policy where the person is not covered, where she's not covered. That's all. They couldn't find it anywhere. We kept in touch with them. Guess what? They decided you get a new car.
All right.
Wow.
You know, always make them do that. Make them show you the policy. I've said that before.
Okay, that's good. Here's another, Tom. Ever since I bought my new washer, I've had a soapy residue all over my clothes. The store sent out repairmen, but they just can't figure it out. I've even changed detergent several times, and it still doesn't help. The store says they're trying to fix it under warranty, but it'll take a while to figure it all out. It's been going on for more than a year now, and the washer is out of warranty. How long do I put up with this?
Well, if they can't fix it under warranty, they have to extend the warranty until they can fix it, but you shouldn't have to wait longer than the warranty period. The product should be replaced. We called the manufacturer, gave them one last chance. They couldn't fix it. So, guess what?
See the next one?
New washer. Something they should have done in the first place. And that's another thing. If something can't be fixed during the warranty period, don't keep it. You don't have to.
Yeah.
If they can fix it, you got to keep it. But if they can't fix it, get a new one.
You think you know what's wrong with it?
No, but I'll tell you what. I think it has something. It may have something to do with the water in this case and how it interacts with the washer, because we had about 3 or 4 different ones with the same problem.
I was guessing it didn't drain.
We don't know.
All right.
We never
All
really
right.
found out.
Okay. Thanks, Tom, for all the good information there.
Okay. And that is First News for today. Thanks for watching.
News 4 at 5 is next. Stay with us.
Just ahead on News 4 at 5, controversial educator Ruben Perez has a new job tonight. He's been reassigned by the Denver Public Schools. We'll have that story next.
I'm Rick Salinger. The Secretary of State takes the first steps in an investigation involving the RTD chairman. I'll have that story coming up.
I'm Les Shapiro. In sports, baseball players are reporting to spring training, but these aren't any baseball players we recognize. We'll get a report live from Rockies camp in Tucson, and we'll talk to some real Rockies who are still sitting at home in Denver.
And we'll tell you why all these people jammed a hearing on a Denver policy issue. It's all ahead on News 4 at 5.
It's time for News 4, and you're with Colorado's News Channel. Bob Palmer, Stephanie Riggs, Larry Green, and Les Shapiro. Live on 4, this is News 4 at 5.
Good evening. Perhaps the most controversial figure in the Denver public school system has a new job tonight. Ruben Perez, once vice principal at Horace Mann Middle School, has been reassigned. He'll keep his vice principal title and continue to work on discipline problems, but at a different school. Superintendent Irv Moskowitz ordered the transfer. News 4's Ralph Allen says the move has touched off more controversy.
Perez has been kept out of sight since learning of his new responsibilities early this morning. His mission began as an effort to expel 100 students Perez viewed as disciplinary problems at Horace Mann Middle School. When that failed, when the administration refused to back Perez, things went downhill in a hurry. But through it all, Perez has kept the backing of parents and most teachers.
I just found out about it just now, and I think it stinks. I'm sorry, he was a good guy. He backed our kids up right and left. I really mean it. I don't care what they say about him. He was good.
Teachers also seem to be holding ranks. A few of them met at a restaurant near the school to praise Perez's effort.
I think this is like putting him in detention. He goes in detention for the rest of the year, and then I don't think he'll get his renewal next September.
So what is Perez's status with DPS?
Right now, it appears that most likely he'll be there at Kepner for the remainder of the school year, and what will come after that, I don't know what the next assignment will be.
In a letter sent home to parents, the principal of Horace Mann announced that Perez would be working with the Truancy Project announced the other day by Mayor Webb. And Martha Gravera wished him well. Uncharacteristically, Perez has been silenced, at least for the time being. Ralph Allen, News 4.
Again, Perez will continue to carry the title of vice principal in his new job, but references to his job today were preceded by the word temporary.
Denver's Career Service Board is considering a controversial proposal, one that would allow gay city employees to use their sick leave to care for their ill partners. Currently, the city allows employees to take up to 10 days leave to care for immediate family members. Well, today the board heard arguments both for and against the proposed change. They heard from employees who had been refused sick leave when their homosexual partner was injured, and from employees who thought the change would lead to a demand for insurance coverage.
My partner suffered severe head injuries and brain injuries, and I could not be fully involved in her care because I was continually refused to use the allowed earned sick leave that I had earned.
As everyone knows, homosexuals are considered to be a high-risk group. If the city allows a high-risk group to qualify as an immediate family on its insurance, rate increases or reduced benefits would be inevitable.
City employees who support the change say families come in all shapes and sizes, and it is not fair to deny them sick leave they have earned. The board will not vote on the issue until at least March 16th. And today in the state legislature, a vote on a bill that would have added crimes against gays to the list of Colorado's hate crimes. The bill was killed in committee. Spurned by Arapahoe County in his effort to start commuter flights, Texas businessman John Andrews is taking his ideas to Jefferson County. Today he formally proposed up to 40 daily departures from the Jeffco Airport, which currently is not certified to handle them. News 4's financial specialist Mike Fearberg is here now with the story. I guess, Mike, if you don't succeed at first, try again.
Try again, expand the plan, and see if someone else will go for it. And maybe he's having more success, Stephanie and Bob, because at least the idea was not rejected out of hand, at least not right away. But there really still are quite a few hurdles that have to be cleared, and Andrews wants to start service by the end of this year. Now, his proposal is for 40 daily flights from Jeffco Airport. 60% of them would go to other locations in Colorado. 40% of them would go beyond our borders to places like Love Field in Dallas, Scottsdale, Arizona, and Kansas City, at fares ranging from $89 to $159 each way. But Andrews says he is selling convenience, not low fares.
I think DIA will be such a fiasco, you won't even believe what's going to happen there. I full well believe we can leave here in that Saab 2000 and be on the ground in Dallas before you leave the ground at DIA.
There are more than a few problems to deal with before this plane can take off, though. As we said, Jeffco is not certified for these kind of flights at this point. They would need a lot more crash and fire safety equipment. They would need new fencing all around the airport. They need security screening, ticket counters, parking lots for everybody, and so on and so forth. Who's going to pay for all this stuff? We don't know. Because of changing federal rules, the Airport Commission isn't even formally accepting applications for this kind of service right now, at least until the stricter regulations from Washington are finalized. Another problem is that Andrews admits he has never conducted a marketing plan to determine if there is enough demand for what he intends to provide. Indeed, he says, Stephanie, he's going to live by what he calls the rule of Southwest Airlines. If the flights don't break even within 6 months, he'll just pull the plug. What he's saying, though, is he thinks there's enough demand for this, and if there is, his figures say that Jeffco Airport will get $3 million a year. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot to dangle in front of them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
Sure.
Two major bills of the Colorado legislative session advanced today. First, the death penalty bill. It would take the death penalty decision.
We weren't having any problems. In fact, it was getting a lot better.
Perez says a lawyer is working with him, and he's referring all questions about a potential lawsuit to that attorney.
The owner of a startup anyone who is caught drinking behind the wheel, and that bill was approved by a House committee. Well, a man with a long history of drinking and driving is going to go maximum was 6, but the judge found aggravating circumstances. Last year, Rangel drove into the back of a motorcycle in Thornton. A young couple, man and woman, were on the bike. The woman suffered serious head injuries. She was unconscious for a long period of time. And Lenora Hamra is currently out of the coma and undergoing rehabilitation, but she is just now beginning to speak again, and only in a whisper.
In Denver, a jury has yet to reach a verdict in the case of a teenager charged with murder. A few hours ago, jurors told the judge they were deadlocked. He ordered them to continue deliberations. The shooting happened in November of '93. Geronimo Maestas was killed during an attempt to steal his Broncos jacket. His cousin was wounded. 18-year-old James Miller is accused of pulling the trigger. 2 other men connected to the incident testified against Miller as part of a plea bargain. But Miller claims he was not even at the scene. His mother believes he's telling the truth, but expressed sympathy today for the victim's mother.
Yes, I feel for her, too. I really do. But my son didn't do this. I mean, that's just him. That's not him.
The jury began deliberating her son's fate yesterday.
More grueling cross-examination today in the O.J. Simpson case. The defense continues to try to show evidence of sloppy police work. We'll have a wrap-up of the day in court just ahead.
Also tonight, this is not your ordinary school bake sale. We'll explain why coming up.
And next, the first replacement players report for spring training. Jerry Miller is going to have a live report from Arizona.
Colorado weather warming up and drying out, but intense weather down in the southeastern part of the United States.
Playing in the snow can be fun, as long as you have the security of front-wheel drive, ABS, and traction control. Plus the legendary comfort of the best-selling luxury car in America. Whoever said you can't have it all never drove the 1995 Cadillac DeVille. Now just $539 a month for 24 months at your front-running Cadillac dealer.
Balooster, Snowmeister, Parallelogramster, Ski Bunny, Ski Hamster, Ayatollah of Gondola, Miss Mogalicious, turning up the ski meter to blue streaks.
It's open season on 100 of America's best-rated trails at Copper Mountain. You'll find friendly staff, naturally divided terrain, and a convenient location off I-70, and coupons in the Rocky Mountain News. Ski Colorado's perfect ski mountain.
Copperama, Coppertunity, Knoxter, Copper...
Where else can you get the world's finest furniture free for 1 full year? Only at Casey Fine Furniture. Everything for your home is at least 33% off with no money down, free of all payments and interest-free for 1 full year. Or use your cash and save even more. Why settle for factory closeouts and furniture nobody else wants? Get the very best for your home free for 1 full year. Only at Casey Fine Furniture. Hurry, sale ends Tuesday.
It's a little bit country where hot and cool connect.
Hot eats, cool treats, at Dairy Queen.
There's real country cooking at Dairy Queen. The chicken strip basket. 4 golden strips of chicken, all white breast meat, moist and tender. Crispy French fries, Texas toast, and country gravy. The chicken strip basket at Dairy Queen. You all drop in for lunch or dinner.
Hot eats, cool treats, we treat you right.
Today is the first day of baseball spring training. Pitchers and catchers report to camp. But this day is marked by more complaining than training. Credit that to the baseball strike. And News 4's Les Shapiro is here now, one day into the season, and this is strange.
Oh, it's like the Abbott and Costello routine. Who's on first, what's on second, and I don't know
who's on third.
on third. Yeah, it's going to get really weird tomorrow, because tomorrow is when we'll see a bunch of guys we don't recognize in Rockies uniforms on the field in Tucson. And Tucson is where our Gary Miller is right now. He joins us live on 4. Gary, tell me what it feels like there, watching a bunch of guys you've never seen before in your life.
That's a really good point, Les, because we saw a lot of guys today. We didn't know if they were replacement players or maybe ushers working here at High Corbett Field or concessionaires for that matter. Really, it was a nice enough day to play 2 here today, a beautiful day in Tucson, reporting day for the pitchers and the catchers. The first workout comes up tomorrow, and they'll do it, fittingly enough, at high noon. It looks like spring training down here, really feels like it too, but we all know it is very different. Tomorrow we'll see minor leaguers and replacement players on the field, but after 2 months of the season getting away from us last year, and of course we lost the World Series, management now determined to give us baseball even though the real players are nowhere in sight.
Well, none of us prefer to do it, but we're going to do it. We're going to start baseball, and this business, this industry has been going on for over 125 years, and one person is not going to shut the game down. There's too much tradition. There's too much in the industry. Too many people have too many things at stake to shut it down over a difference of opinion. So we will start baseball.
Don Baylor and his staff are here. They'll do the job that they are paid to do, but pitching coach Larry Bernarth admitted today that working with replacement players isn't what he had in mind at all.
Yeah, it ticks everybody off. It especially ticks me off because I did think we were making some progress with the needs and the Ruffins and the Reeds and those people.
The thoughts of Larry Bernarth. Les, later in sports, we'll get the thoughts of Don Baylor. Remember, Don was very big in union, in the union in his playing days. So I think we're all going to want to find out what he has to say now that he's on the other side of the other side of the fence.
Gary, Don Baylor is not one who hides his emotions, but I'm wondering about Bob Gebhardt. You know, he's putting on a happy face. He's trying to be optimistic. What do you think he's really feeling right now?
Well, I think he's frustrated. I think he's totally frustrated. Everybody is frustrated. You know, I get the feeling that now everybody says, you know, I don't care if the owners win, if the players win. Let's get back on the field. Let's give the fans real baseball. And I think that's what Gebhardt has in the back of his mind, too. We all just want to see baseball with the real baseball players.
Think anybody will show up tomorrow to watch the workout? Any fans?
I'd be surprised. Not very many. I don't think anybody knows who these guys are. And, you know, if we recognize anybody, we'll be totally surprised.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. And Steph, I think Gary's right about that, Steph and Bob, because we have Yankees video today. They were on the field working out today.
Yeah.
Very few people in the stands. Very few, yeah.
Too bad. Thank you, Les. Next month, a dog from Colorado ventures into the wilds of Alaska for the Iditarod, and every mile the dog runs is going to benefit cystic fibrosis research. Students from the Grayland Country Day School in Denver have pledged a penny for every mile, and they'll raise even more money by selling homemade dog biscuits. Today, they were hard at work making their biscuits. It's all part of a project to teach the kids about community service and learn a little something about the geography of Alaska.
Great program. The officer who told O.J. Simpson about the murder of his ex-wife took the stand today. We'll have a wrap-up of the day in court just ahead.
And later, a Colorado getaway to a magnificent frozen waterfall near Steamboat Springs. Stay with us. There's much more to come.
Get unbeatable savings during the Power of Hoover sale at Kmart. The Elite Upright with 17.0 cleaning effectiveness per amp is only $97.97 at Kmart.
Joan Cotton talks about no premium senior plan.
I've always lived what I consider to be a healthy lifestyle. With Senior Plan, I don't pay a monthly premium. With Senior Plan's pharmacy benefit, I get up to $700 worth of prescriptions each year, with only a low $7 copayment for each prescription. Who has time for paperwork when there's so much life to be lived?
FHP Senior Plan, premium care without the premium.
Trust Emic Oldsmobile West to say yes to almost everything. Yes, Emic West has the biggest Oldsmobile inventory in Denver. Yes, Emic Oldsmobile West has the best customer satisfaction index in Denver. Yes, Emic West gives you the lowest prices in Denver on every Oldsmobile. And yes, we give you the highest trade-in allowance on your used car. The only no at Emic Oldsmobile West is nobody treats you better than Emic Oldsmobile West. Trust Emic Oldsmobile West for your next Oldsmobile. Emic Oldsmobile, West 6th Avenue and West Colfax.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place. So get out of the old and get into the cold.
You fell in love with the bridges of Madison County. Now, best-selling author Robert James Waller sweeps you away with Border Music, an unforgettable novel of love, longing, and one extraordinary man. He lives beyond the borders of convention, rugged, independent, the last freeborn soul. He's Texas Jack Carmine, and his story will dare you to reach beyond the borders of your own life. Border Music by Robert James Waller from Warner Books.
For a cool pick-me-up, it's Clamato on ice. Its performance is uplifting and its taste paradise. The mixer you can't beat now, keeps you off your feet now. The beat is gonna pick you up, Clamato.
Today in the O.J. Simpson case, defense attorneys intensified their assault on one of the first police detectives to arrive on the scene of the crime. And that detective testified about calling O.J. to deliver the news that his ex-wife was dead.
I've got some bad news. Your ex-wife, Nicole Simpson, has been killed.
Detective Ron Phillips was given the job of calling O.J. Simpson in Chicago to tell him about the murders.
I think the first words out of his mouth were something to the effect, "Oh my God, Nicole is killed," or "Oh my God, she's dead," and then he got very upset on the telephone.
Despite his emotional reaction, however, Phillips says Simpson never asked how Nicole died, where she was found, or any other details surrounding the murder. After the call, Phillips says his partner, Mark Furman, led him outside to a narrow passageway between the main house and the guest house.
And he stopped and he pointed out an object to me.
That object was a bloody black glove. Prosecutors say it matches another glove found at the murder scene. And the tests show that it was stained with the blood of both victims and O.J. Simpson. Prosecutors contend there is no way that Furman could have taken one of the gloves from the crime scene and planted it at Simpson's home because he wasn't wearing a coat. But on cross-examination, defense lawyer Johnny Cochran suggested otherwise.
And did he have a jacket on when you first saw him that morning?
No.
Would you be surprised to learn that
Later that day on Rockingham, he had a blue blazer on.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Here are some of the other developments in the Simpson case today. Judge Lance Ito says he may ask U.S. diplomats to try to track down defense witness Rosa Lopez, who has gone to El Salvador. And there are reports that Judge Ito might decide by tomorrow whether 2 more jurors should be disqualified because of misconduct. Coming up on NBC Nightly News at 6 o'clock, a look at how the prosecution's strategy is developing.
Nicole Brown Simpson's frantic calls to 911 have captured the world's attention and shine the light on the problem the U.S. Surgeon General ranks as the leading cause of injury to women ages 15 to 44. Tonight, a Denver woman shares for the first time on television her courageous, painful, and personal story of how she broke the cycle of abuse. Dean recalls bringing her new baby home from the hospital. She says that's the first time he hit her.
And I just remember that I was holding her and he got mad and punched me in the face. And what I can really remember is having a bloody nose all over my new baby.
Watch Breaking the Cycle, a success story, on News 4 tonight at 10.
At a Denver street corner known for violence, another teenager has been shot and is fighting to survive tonight. It happened in Denver at 26th and Arapahoe at about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Police say a 15-year-old was shot in the head while riding in a stolen car. Police believe the shooting was gang-related. One teenager has been arrested. Others are being questioned. Residents say they are tired of the shootings in their neighborhood.
We live here, and this is my grandma's house. And I'm not going to have, we're not going to leave, our house because somebody's shooting, because people are getting hurt. We're going to try to put a stop to it, and do what we can to help stop it.
The victim is listed in critical condition at Denver General Hospital.
The Colorado Secretary of State has begun an investigation into the voter registration of the chairman of the RTD board. Vicki Buckley has asked the Adams County clerk to determine if Chairman Brian Propp illegally used a post office box as his legal residence. The move comes after Buckley viewed our News 4 report last night. Investigator Rick Salinger tells us that's not the only problem the controversial RTD head faces.
The Regional Transportation District's chairman is under fire on 2 fronts. Brian Propp is now running the board much of the time from his job in the former Soviet Union. Plus, his voter registration is under investigation. We found Propp listed under oath, this address on Federal, as his sole residence, on his voter registration, and on other notarized documents on file with the Secretary of State.
If it turned out to be a mailbox address, a private mailbox, would you consider this a flagrant violation of the law?
It definitely is. The law tells you that this is perjury, because you do state that this is your sole place of residence.
On his RTD oath, he swore by the ever-living God that he resides at 10332 Federal Boulevard. Here is that address, a store in a strip mall that provides a postal box service. By phone from the Ukraine, Propp told us Buckley approved his use of the postal box.
That I had been stalked, that I had been threatened, and that I did not want my actual home address on any documents.
The Secretary of State says she did not speak with Propp, and she's begun an investigation. It could possibly lead to his removal from office. The RTD board has been embroiled in controversy since Propp and other conservatives took control last month. At issue is the future of light rail expansion. Propp told us he'll be spending about half his time in the next year in countries of the former Soviet Union, working on a State Department grant. He will run RTD board affairs by computer.
I've asked that email be installed at RTD, which can actually be used for a lot of different purposes, but it's a very inexpensive form of communication.
But a Propp opponent on the RTD board is predicting he will have to resign, and she'll bring up the matter at the next meeting.
It looks to me like we will select a new chairman.
Why do you say that?
Well, it sounds like he shouldn't even be on the board.
The RTD board meets next Tuesday. Propp will be there. The future of light rail is on the agenda, and perhaps its chairman as well. Rick Salinger, News 4.
The law does provide a way to keep home addresses private, but Brian Propp did not file a confidentiality form with the Secretary of State's office.
We'll take a Colorado getaway in just a moment.
And then Larry will join us with the forecast. Don't go away.
Here's our challenge, to sell 500 cars and trucks in the shortest month of the year. And we're going to do it because we've got what people really want. Like $3.9 or $600 cash back on Escort, 2-doors, 3-doors, 4-doors, and wagons. Value priced from $179 a month. People can afford that. Here's another hot seller, Ranger. Look, we ordered a special group of 35, all value priced at $97.97 or $199 a month.
We've got what people want at the value prices they can afford. That's the difference at Phil Long Ford.
Big news for your stomach. Once, no matter the ailment, most stomach remedies were gritty, goopy, soupy, separated, chalky, crusty, messy, bitter, or a bother. But time marches on. Introducing Pepto-Bismol caplets. They're easy to swallow and start to coat in seconds for a taste-free way to comfort indigestion, upset stomach, or diarrhea. New Pepto-Bismol caplets, the little pill that's big news for your stomach.
Operator.
Where can callers get local, up-to-the-minute weather information?
Easy Source 4, 754-1000, code 4444.
Another big idea from News 4 and US West.
When you want great pizza and you want it now... Gotta be Domino's! Feed this screw, hands off pow! Crunchy thin crust and much more wow! Gotta be Domino's!
Now at Domino's, get any medium specialty pizza in any crust for only $8.99 and get a second pizza for only $5 more. When it's gotta be food, it's gotta be Domino's.
I've been a mechanic for 16 years, and I've worked on all kinds of vehicles. And when it came time for me to buy a truck, I wanted to buy the one I saw the least of, and that's a Toyota 4x4. I use my Toyota for towing my boat to the lake. They seem to go forever. Of course, I've changed the oil in it, and that's all I've ever done to it. Wash the bugs off of it once in a while. That leaves a lot of money open to spend on my boat. If Toyota only made boats, I'd have the whole weekend with nothing to work on just to have fun.
Toyota. Can you afford not to drive one? See your Toyota dealer today.
I love going to the symphony because they don't use replacement players, and I can relax, open my mind, and wonder who did Beethoven's hair.
In the summer, Fish Creek Falls is a relaxing destination. But come wintertime, it becomes a frozen tower, challenging only the most hardy souls. And News 4's Julia Sandage takes up the challenge in this Colorado getaway.
A wintertime wilderness abandoned by summer. But a venture to her base reveals a frightening rush of river, frozen beneath fragile layers of ice.
The harness is attached to the rope, and the rope is attached to me, and that way we can hang on to you throughout the climb.
Tempted by brochures touting no experience necessary, I decided to test my middle-aged strength, convinced that if anybody could do it, I could.
You're going to need a helmet.
My guide is Kevin Rusk, a man skilled enough to turn his passion into profession. With a license from the American Mountain Guides Association and 25 years of experience, he teaches others how to reach the top.
Climbers and mountaineers started seeking out places to practice and started to look at these waterfalls as places that they could really hone their skills.
Breathless, I watched as Rusk demonstrated a perfectly choreographed vertical dance. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Precise steps I was expected to repeat. A few last-minute instructions and my turn had come. My feet felt like boulders. The ice was soft. I grasped the picks awkwardly, trying to repeat the perfect swing. Rusk's voice was faint. I could hear only the roar below my face. 10 feet from the top, I could see the tree bowing beneath my weight, the ice melting away above my head. It was time to come down. I bumbled with the picks and turned myself over to gravity and fate. Courage and creativity, more like survival instinct. Accomplishment, maybe. But more the realization that even the greatest fear can be overcome. even an aging body extended, and sometimes even the impossible achieved. To get to Fish Creek Falls, take Highway 40 into Steamboat Springs and turn north on 3rd Street. Follow the signs to Fish Creek Falls. Julia Sandage, News 4.
Way to go, Julia. That's impressive. Well, you can take a Colorado getaway for a half hour every Saturday evening. It airs at 6:30 here on News 4.
Now Larry is here, and Larry tells us that first the cold went away, then the wind went away, and now the snow is going away, at least in Denver.
Sure is here in Denver. The streets are drying out very, very quickly. I think a lot of people will be washing their cars by this weekend, as they should. They really got messed up over the last couple of days. But it does look like temperatures approaching the 60s will be around here by the weekend.
Isn't that amazing how it changes so quickly?
It changes quickly. We have 40 degrees now. The high today was 51, and the overnight low 17 degrees. Humidity, not much, 50% right now, and the barometer on the way up, 30.18 inches. Wind is out of the west now. It's at 8 miles per hour. There are weather problems around the nation this afternoon. Not here in the west. It's down in the southeastern part of the country, and it looks like very much a spring-like pattern that's dropping through their region. A tornado watch and a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia at this hour. And there have already been some tornadoes in northern sections of Alabama that have claimed some lives there. That was very early this morning, our time. And, of course, the severe thunderstorms continue to rumble through northern Georgia, and there is a threat that they will pick up some isolated flooding around that region throughout the rest of the evening. Here's a good close-up on it on the latest NextRad pictures, and this rainfall pattern stretches all the way from New England clear down into the Gulf Coast region. But the heaviest of the rainfall right now, northern Alabama, northern Georgia, and moving into the higher elevations of the Carolinas. Quite a big storm, and it's moving very slowly, so that really adds to the discomfort and the danger down in that part of the country. The outlook for tomorrow, it's not going to move away from the southeastern part of the country. The northeast will get a little fresh blast of snow moving through their region, but high pressure is hanging in here in Colorado. And the effect of all of that is that we have a clockwise rotation around a high pressure system, and it tends to push out from the center of the high. And what's going to happen, this rain and snow, a very vigorous system up in the northwest, is going to tend to ride over and up along the Canadian border over the next couple of days. Not much going on in the desert southwest. It looks like they have a chance to warm up and dry out a little bit for the spring training days coming up. 77 degrees forecast for Phoenix tomorrow. We go up the coast, 57 degrees at Portland tomorrow. Other temperatures around the nation, mostly 50s in the nation's midsection, quite cool in the northeast, and warm and humid down in the southeast with 60s, 70s, and 80s, depending on your latitude down in that area. So it looks like the southeastern part of the country stays on the wet side, while here in the west we stay on the dry side, at least at most locations. I'll put everything into motion for you right now. We had a few clouds that moved through the state earlier today. They were upper-level clouds, mostly associated with the wind around here, but it's a pretty big pattern up to the northwest of us. Now, over the next day or so, this is the Western Weather Maker for you, this downslope pattern is going to start forming over the mountains and then down into the plains. That means things will dry up and warm up around here. There's a big storm in the northwest, and if it gets in here on Saturday, it will affect the northwest mountains and the northwest plateau of Colorado. It won't be that cold, but it could be damp from time to time, and it'll just a little bit of that leaking into the state sometime late in the day on Saturday. Meanwhile, teens and 20s for the overnight lows on the plains. The mountains will be in the single figures, and some of those areas will go below zero. With clear skies and snow on the ground, a lot of that heat goes right out through the ceiling in a big hurry. Western Colorado will have temperatures in the 20s. And the highs coming up tomorrow, we'll have temperatures in the 50s west, 40s for the mountains. Winter Park get to about 39 degrees for their high. Out on the plains, temperatures in the 50s, and the first of the 60s will show up down in the southeastern section of the state. Looks like a pretty good day coming up tomorrow, and it looks like a real warm weekend ahead. Let's check out that forecast now, and we'll take you through 5 days with it. For Denver, mostly clear, windy in the foothills, and a low of 25 degrees. And then for tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy. The high should be around 59. That'll be the first day that we push towards 60 in quite a while. And let's take a look at the rest of that 5-day forecast. Well, why not? Enjoy it. Get out there. Looks like temperatures are going to stay in the 60s and upper 60s at that toward Monday and into Tuesday.
Looks like May rather than February.
It really does. It'll fool you sometimes in February and March around here. You can have summer one day and you can have real winter the next day.
It'll be perfect in the mountains for skiing. You'll have the sun out and the snow.
Perfect. Pretty good.
Got a weather question for you?
I have a weather school question for you for today. When wind direction shifts over a period of time in a clockwise direction, it is a backing wind, a cyclone, or a veering wind. What do you call a wind that changes in a clockwise direction.
Well, I'll think about that later. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Plenty ahead on News Sports 5. We will meet a star shredder, the first woman picked for the U.S. snowboard team.
And next, protest outside a meeting to set pollution limits in Denver.
And coming up in sports, the Broncos hired another couple of assistant coaches today. Striking baseball players met in Florida. We'll fill you in on that. And we'll do a whole wrap around about what's going on with this thing they're calling spring training with a live report from Tucson.
News 4 weather brought to you by your Front Range Jeep and Eagle dealers.
How incredible a value is the all-new Eagletown? This is exciting. Certified government accountant Warren Kruger is here to help us find out. Take it for a spin. I'm off. He's off. Warren, the wonder accountant is back. Warren, what do you think?
Sounds great. 140 horsepower engine, dual airbags, double wishbone suspension.
What would the U.S. government pay for something like this?
14 million tops.
Shouldn't that decimal point be over there?
Yeah.
Test drive a Talon at your Jeep and Eagle dealer or call us.
Solid oak dining furniture. What a warm and rich addition to your home. And there's no better place for selection, quality, and low prices than Charter Furniture. This week, all dining furniture is on sale at 33 to 40% off, including Richardson Brothers' entire line, as well as this handcrafted heirloom quality set of solid cherry. Charter Furniture, Colorado's best value in hardwood furnishings.
Charter Furniture, you can afford your dreams.
Any bank can give you a home equity line of credit, but if you call Bank One, you can get approval within 24 hours. Plus, we'll lend you 100% of the equity in your home, which is nice since most banks will only lend you 80%. 80%? What's wrong with the other 20% of your house? Call and apply for a Bank One home equity line. You could get one somewhere else, but you might end up taking a big hit.
Burlington Coat Factory sale honoring my birthday is so great, I agreed to star in their commercial. Check this out. Ladies' famous label suits just $49.90. Men's suits a cool $89.90. Ladies' famous designer down parkas, $49.90. Men's parkas and barn coats a mere $29.90. Ladies' full-length wool coats, $49.90. Or full-length leather coats, just $79.90. There's tons more at Burlington Coat Factory's you-know-who's birthday sale. Is Martha gonna love this sale or what?
Road signs told the truth, even more people would be driving the all-new 170 horsepower Accord V6.
Welcome back to News 4 at 5, Thursday evening, February 16th. A proposal to allow more air pollution to accommodate growth is meeting strong opposition from environmentalists and the cities of Denver and Boulder. Greenpeace activists protested the plan today at a meeting of the State Air Quality Control Commission. Opponents of the plan say they want a cap on current levels of air pollution to protect public health. Two regional planning agencies recommend allowing more pollution as long as health standards are not violated. They argue that it's necessary to prevent the loss of federal highway funds. News 4 environmental specialist Paul Day is at the meeting. He'll report the outcome for you tonight at 10.
The Environmental Protection Agency is ordering tests on Colorado drinking water. Systems that serve at least 10,000 customers are going to be checked for a parasite which is called Cryptosporidium. That includes 34 communities in Colorado. Government officials stress they don't believe there's a problem with the water in the state. They say the tests are in response to outbreaks that have been discovered in other parts of the country. Dozens of elk in Rocky Mountain National Park are going to be fitted with radio collars. Wildlife officials say the collars will help them get a better head count of the elk in the park. The project will begin next week.
The airlines are changing the way they pay travel agents, and it could mean increased fees for travelers. We'll explain what it means to your money on the Colorado Evening News at 6:30. And we'll talk with some would-be homeowners who had their houses sold out from underneath them when the prices went up. That and much more on the Colorado Evening News coming up at 6:30.
The National Brotherhood of Skiers hits the slopes at Steamboat. That story is just ahead.
And next, a young woman from CU cuts a path for other women in the sport of snowboarding.
In Colorado, we don't set limits on fun, and we don't drive wimpy trucks. Drive the Chevrolet S-Series, the official vehicle of Keystone, Arapahoe Basin, and Breckenridge. Everything else is history.
Ain't no little rainstorm gonna stop me from getting a Black Angus. This month they're letting me build my own combo. I can pick any two from top sirloin, grilled prawns, baby back ribs, chicken, or golden shrimp. Gonna build my own combo with all the fixings for just $10.99. If you got a Visa card, bring it.
Both the Chase Cash Builder Visa and the Discover card give you cash back. But Cash Builder gives you a lot more cash back. More cash back on purchases, even cash back on interest. And you don't pay an annual fee. Once you've used Cash Builder, you'll see there's nothing left to discover. Call 1-800-AT-CHASE to apply. Chase Manhattan. Profit from the experience.
Right there. See the back. See it? No.
Look, over there.
Where?
And over there.
I don't see anything.
It's right there.
Who's got the best dealership on Arapahoe Road? I do. There's a new Nissan dealer in town. Now you can get one of these with one of these and save a whole bunch of money. Where are you going to go to get your best deal on a Nissan car, truck, or van? This is definitely the place. Come on down and see us. Look how easy it is to get here. I-25, Arapahoe Road, boom, John Owe Nissan. Right across the street from that Toyota guy. Don't forget it.
The National Brotherhood of Skiers is in Steamboat Springs this week for their annual ski summit. The group represents more than 75 African-American ski clubs across the country. 5,000 skiers made the trip this year, and one of their goals is to help young black skiers make the U.S. ski team.
The first ever Snowboard World Cup is cutting a path down the steepest runs at Breckenridge. The competition is filled with firsts, including a CU student who is the first woman named to the U.S. snowboard team. Phil LeBeau with News 4's Boulder Valley Bureau shows us how this snowboarder is changing her sport.
Don't call her a shredder, just call her one of the best snowboarders in America.
Hi, my name's Stacy Holcomb, and I'm a member of the U.S. snowboard team.
She's also the first woman picked for the squad.
It seems like in a lot of aspects, I've been pioneering like a new generation of snowboarders.
This new generation is tired of the snowboarder stereotype. These are athletes cutting a more professional image for the sport.
I think that the sport is just starting to, make a new turn. I think it's going to start taking over a lot now.
At the World Cup in Breckenridge, Stacy made the giant slalom finals. Despite finishing 21st, she believes her best runs are yet to come.
Like, I haven't won any events yet, and I know that I can do it.
What she does is fly down the mountain.
The best time is when you're going so fast, you know you could, lose it at any minute. The fear factor is what keeps you coming back for more, just the rush of the whole thing, I guess.
Being the first woman on the U.S. snowboard team is not enough. In 1998, she hopes to be on the first Olympic snowboard team.
That would be the best thing ever. That would mean, all dreams come true for me, because that's where I want to be.
She can do almost anything on a snowboard, except maybe stop and introduce herself.
Hi. Hi.
In Breckenridge, Phil LeBeau, News 4.
Go get him, Stacy. Well, in the finals of yesterday's slalom race, Stacy Holcomb finished 14th.
As Major League Baseball players meet in Florida today, spring training begins without them.
Replacement players for the Rockies report to camp. We'll have another live report from Gary Miller in Tucson.
Thank you. It's here. And buffalo wings.
There's something new from Pizza Hut.
I'm not eating any buffalo's wings. Buffaloes are an endangered species. If they're endangered, why are we eating them?
Well, not...
My dad's back is hairy like a buffalo.
Thanks for sharing.
How do they fly with these little wings?
They don't fly at all.
Thanks to people like you, Dad.
Buffalo wings, hot or mild, either way. Just $4 for a dozen delicious wings.
Tastes just like chicken.
Thank you.
You'll love the stuff we're made of.
It's Subaru all-wheel drive days. Hey, wait a minute. Why don't the other guys have all-wheel drive days? Oh, yeah, they don't have all-wheel drive. They don't have cars that can transfer power from the wheels that slip to the wheels that grip like a Subaru Legacy or Impreza can. No wonder they don't have all-wheel drive days. Of course, they could have. Let's get stuck in the snow days.
Right now, get $1,500 customer cash on select 95 Impreza models.
Greeny weeny, snow plouster learning houster, little Lord Snow Leroy, powder puffster, keep snow in the parka, little Swiss mister, bellying up to the T-barster.
You're getting there, so get here. Copper Mountain, great trails, a great staff, and a great location off I-70. Look for coupons in the Rocky Mountain News for even more reasons to ski Colorado's perfect ski mountain.
Coppa Toppa, Copperino,
Mandy's basically an A and B student. I don't like quitting things. Somewhere along the line, her math grades started slipping. I thought, well, if I try hard enough, I might be able to get it. She was hanging in there to try to maintain her B average. I just needed more help. So I called Sylvan. Sylvan really did help me. Through enrichment classes in Sylvan, I got a 95. I think it's great.
Sylvan Learning Center. Better grades are just the beginning. Call 1-800-EDUCATE. That's 1-800-EDUCATE.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Gotta get some rest. Tomorrow I'm pitching the coup computer account.
Me too. We're competitors.
Sorry, pal. I hear we've got the inside track.
Well, get that rest.
I will.
His stuff will do nothing for his cough.
Vicks NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine.
News 4 Sports, brought to you by your Front Range Jeep and Eagle dealers.
If I know Les in that sports department, they've probably been sitting back there all day coming up with names for these guys. And
Tell me what you like. I'll give you some choices.
Okay.
The Colorado Fakies, the Mockies, the Crockies, or the Schlockies, the Colorado Schlockies. I like that one.
The Schlockies?
You like that?
I think the Fakies.
You like the Fakies?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they call it spring training, but it doesn't look like spring training. And it doesn't look like the major leaguers will be back anytime soon. So there will be players wearing Rockies uniforms in Tucson. We just don't know who they are. And our Gary Miller is at High Corbett Field today welcoming all those unrecognizable faces in. Gary, does it feel really odd to you?
Does feel a little bit odd, Les, and I like Mockies, by the way. Bob Gebhard, the general manager, gave us some insight into management's position today. He said, you know, if the fans support replacement games, maybe that'll put some pressure on the players to really negotiate. Of course, Gebhard didn't say it, but on the other hand, if fans don't support replacement games, maybe then it'll be the owners who start to really feel the heat. Manager Don Baylor arrived here today, returning to Tucson with a much different feeling than he's had the past two springs. Nobody wants replacement ball, but that's what we've got at least for now, at least for a while. And Baylor told us he never thought back on August 12th when the players walked out that we'd be in the position we're in today.
Absolutely not. I really didn't. I really thought we would not be talking about this 6 months later. You know, there's a lot of
time has passed without some negotiations on some sides where you have to bring in someone else to facilitate even a negotiation. And we're back into spring training right back where we were August 12th. I don't think we're any better off. Baylor's really an interesting case study. Remember, when he came up in 1972, the player's minimum salary was $14,000 a year. It's now $109,000. So Baylor is well aware what the union has done to the players. But he also told us when he was a player and a union leader, he never thought about the fans. He only cared about what he could get for the players. He said, really now, it's the fans who are the victims, the fans who are suffering, and the fans baseball will have to win back when and if, let's say when, the regulars finally return. Of course, this year, the fans will be going to Coors Field in Denver. That's where our Mark McIntosh is standing by. And, Mac, I know you spent the day with a couple of guys who really wish they were down here.
That's right, Gary. You know, in a month and a half, Coors Field expected to host its first Major League Baseball game. But, of course, if it's replacement players, we won't see any of the Rockies regulars here. Although today we talked to some of them who live here in Denver in the offseason, and they still remain optimistic. A deal will get done.
There's no sense of urgency right now, and I think the owners know just as well as the players know that we can get ready in 3 weeks, middle of March, and start the season on time. So I want to say that that's what's going to happen, but I don't know.
How about Rockies catcher Jim Tatum? He's been selling cars in the offseason, trying to make some money.